Professor's got a big board for us.
The biggest, stupidest thing of the week, which is NBA, the big one on PS5 and Xbox and whatever, was released. They released a WNBA version, and Angel Reese is on the cover. Now, I don't know about you guys and how much you play video games, but I actually played this game with the kid last night, and we had to play a game to 11 like you would at
you were playing WNBA video games?
Oh, my God.
We had to play the version to 11 like the rec league game because we didn't have time to start like a season. And playing Angel Reese as a WNBA character, game to 11, it took us 4.5 hours before 11 playing Angel Reese WNBA game. I played the Angel Reese team. I was 9 of 75 on the floor, and that was a good shooting night for Angel.
Did they show an actual ball or just a brick on the video game? I would imagine
He just has a brick.
Just depicted as a brick. Yeah.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday edition here of the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, a very spry and smiling Mike Lubie Lubitz, which leads me to the assumption that everything went well yesterday with the progress with one Luca Panici Lubitz, who was going to be on this earth sometime in November. You never know if it's going to hit the exact date, but usually pretty close. Yep. So congratulations on that. That made it for a fantastic Wednesday, which I would have to say, Lubie, I mean, we may have to go into some kind of lotus position here on the program and amend many of the things that we've been purveying out there and proliferating on the public for the last many years. So I don't know. Are you ready? We might have to do a chant here. Nayomo Remgay Pio, Nayomo Remgay Pio. I don't even know the chant, but sound like Donald Trump here. That guy's an idiot. Biden really made a mistake with him. Oh, you appointed him, Donnie. Oh,
that's my favorite.
Well, you know what? That was a good move at the time. Didn't take like a smirky face. I don't want to begin like Stephen Colbert on the program. I didn't even mean to get into that. It just, I mean, it was the funniest thing I've seen. It happened to pop up on my social media right before I started the show here as I was trying to look up WNBA futures, which we've made a big mistake. And this is why we need to cleanse our souls, Lubie.
Okay.
We've been talking about Black Wednesday. And, of course, this was a concept that was relayed to me by the great Eddie Kaplan, who's still around. Don't be putting Kaplan in his grave. Everybody that I talk to, it's kind of like, it's one of those guys that you never talk to or see, but there are rumors about him occasionally, and not that many. But Eddie K, of course, who was the ultimate degenerate, started doing a show, and he wouldn't go off the air until the last West Coast score is in, and he's talking gambling all the time, and people thought, my God, this guy's out of his mind. What a sicko. And how appropriate would all of that be today? And now they have entire networks dedicated strictly to gambling, one of which I think the Greeks show is on, right? Is that like an all gambling? Is it a station, a network? I'm not sure exactly what it is, but all they talk about is degeneracy. So anyway, we were looking for something. Eddie introduced the concept of Black Wednesday to me, which Jim Sarney disputes. And I saw Sarney last night. He actually showed up at the Revelry happy hour that I was attending.
Look at you.
At first, he was keeping himself socially distant. You would have thought we had a table that was labeled, all these guys have COVID. and you know, are afflicted with HIV. And so he's over at a corner at the bar. He finally came over to the table there. And I guess I could get into that on the lunchbox a little bit, because it was everything that you would see people whining and fetching about on Let's Eat South Florida. Every single thing that could go wrong in terms of the service did. Dishes were put in front of the wrong people who started eating them.
People started eating them.
I had one. This was actually a funny one. I mean, while we're on the topic there, but so I was there early. I had to drop the Mustang off somewhere nearby, so I get there probably 20 minutes before the other people were going to show up, and I really wasn't into. I had drank more than I cared to after the show at Taco Craft the other day. We whizzed down a couple of margaritas, and I was feeling it a little bit because I'd already had my traditional couple of Budweisers after the Walk of Life. So that was a lot of alcoholic consumption for an old geezer. And so I go in and I very tepidly order my usual vodka and grapefruit, my go-to cocktail if I've already drank my limit, my uh, quotient of beers for the day. And I already sucked down a couple of Budweisers after the walk. It was 1,000 degrees outside yesterday, so I get the vodka and grapefruit, and I'm always thrilled when a bar actually has like some version of a fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they did it themselves or they were using Natalie's, but they were using a high end grapefruit juice, which
Oh, nice.
greatly enhances the drink. And it was happy hour, so this thing was like $7.50, and I'm thinking, okay, cool, off to a good start. But then when we sat down at the table, and oddly, you needed to make a reservation to be part of this particular happy hour, where the feature was espresso martinis, which I'm not a fan of, so I was not going to participate in that. So I asked the server if I could have another vodka and grapefruit juice, and he said we don't have any grapefruit juice. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, man! I just saw that woman, and there are not that many people in there. Pour from a full bottle of grapefruit juice, the grapefruit juice from my previous drink. And then I realized that they were now nursing this along for their specialty drinks, which also included grapefruit juice, which he recommended to me. If that's what you want, then you should have this.
Oh, Jesus.
And I thought, I don't even care if you put an eyedropper, a thimble, of grapefruit juice in this vodka. I would much prefer that to this foo-foo drink that you're trying to push on me.
Yeah.
Which was okay, but I mean, I'm much more satisfied by just my usual what do they call that? Greyhound? Yeah, Greyhound. It's called. Very appropriate for somebody that lost a lot of money on dog racing in his lifetime. But anyway, yeah. So it proceeded to go downhill from there, like a lot of chaos with the service. I don't know. I mean, the people I was with, I don't think that was something that they would consider to reflect in the tip, because it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like the guy was bad or anything. It just you could not have been more chaotic. You're waiting forever and that kind of thing. The whole incident with the grapefruit juice was minor compared to some of the other stuff that was going on from the service flaw standpoint. But anyway, that's a story for another day. It couldn't ruin my day though, Lubie, because we have found a new way to deal with Black Wednesday, and that is a wagering on WNBA games.
Oh, Jesus.
This is great.
People really did this?
Well, one of our contentions has always been there shouldn't be a single day that goes by that at some point in the day you dedicate or devote at least a split second to thinking about a way to beat the system. And I believe, Lubie, and I don't know that I want to put this on the life of my grandchildren or anything, because it worked for one day. I don't know that it's going to work forever, but it's been a consistent performance on the Barrier Bookie show that I do on nofilter.net. I've been featuring a lot of my friend Mike Jones, who is a dedicated degenerate. He has a background in Las Vegas. He really studies his stuff. I mean, he amazes me with the numbers he starts throwing out there, because he doesn't know what we're going to talk about. We don't really discuss anything. It's the usual performance. And whatever I throw at him, he'll come back with some numbers that more than justify a position or point out something that you're playing into that makes it almost impossible that unless you literally are determined to sabotage your entire life, you wouldn't bet into these circumstances. So he tells me that because, and we mentioned that the WNBA has taken advantage of the fact that there isn't much to bet on Wednesdays after the All-Star game. No Major League Baseball, and that used to be about the only thing that was available. Now you can bet on anything. But and I don't know, there probably were some soccer matches. Do you find this surprising, Lubie, that people send it in on soccer? We knew the Europeans did, but how do you go like confidently betting soccer games?
No clue.
Or do you just have to entertain yourself by betting a 20-team parlay or something along those lines?
Soccer's weird. I mean, I guess it's like hockey in that sense. It's like,
are you laying goals? I mean,
I don't know how that works.
how much could you lay more than a half a goal?
Then, like Ken says, you have to watch it. That's the problem.
Let me spit my drink.
Sorry, I saw you drinking. I'm like, I don't think I'll be that funny, but I'm gonna say this because Ken always. It's true. Like, even if you'll make bets and then go do your day, you still keep an eye on it. Like, I don't really care about these matches. Like, I don't want to have to.
No, who would want to watch an entire game? A game in its entirety, and technically, it takes 90 minutes. and then they tack on 7 or 8 more minutes because you have no idea when the game is actually going to freaking end.
Yep.
What kind of sport is that? That is very much a sport for, and no wonder he showed up at the soccer thing. It's very much a sport for the Trump administration, where nobody knows what the hell's going on. Is it over? No, I'm not sure. I think there are 3 more minutes. Did they announce that now? How many minutes are left in the game, or did
They do it at the end of regulation. They'll announce.
Oh, okay, they say 7 more. Okay.
But it still is never like the gaps between time are way more than like because they always do a jig and some 25-minute celebration after any goal because they're so happy to have one goal. And then whenever someone's injured, like they bring out ambulances and like they're laying there, and then the person always gets up and continues playing, which I find weird.
Runs off. It's
after
amazing.
like 10 minutes. So it's like there was like 30 minutes of stoppage in that half, and they'll put up 4.
Yeah, I love when the guy is like laid out, like he just got knocked out by marvelous Marvin Hagler at Wembley Stadium, and then after about 20 minutes of being attended to, not showing any signs of life. I mean, almost looking as if he's had a coma induced, like he was Hamlin out there on the field where he actually died. And then he gets up and sprints back into position. Sprints.
It's like, okay.
What a game. Anyway, we thought many of the same things, goofy things about the WNBA and the Angel Reese thing. It was interesting, even very reluctantly, right? As if we were extracting information from a hostage. We got Tony Segreto to admit that maybe Angel isn't the greatest shooter in the history of the game. And then Tony came back with like a Trumpian remark where he says, well, that's the way they play the game. I'm like, well, then who wants to watch a bunch of bricklayers?
Exactly. Like Sarni does that. Different game. No,
it's a game. No,
boring. It's the same game. It's just more boring.
Nobody can make a shot. Unbelievable. So that all being said, I mean, think about this. Here we are. We're already trashing the thing. And I'm going to tell you that this is truly remarkable, people, that if you want to make money, forget about betting on football games and over-unders and prop bets and basketball games. You're trying to figure out, are they going to come back from 20 down? What the hell is that? Think you got the game in the bag? They don't pay off at halftime, Axel. From the great movie The Gambler, Axel Fried, thinking that he had made a score. The bookie comes to the door and wants every dime he's got in his pocket. Because back then you didn't have these means of communication where you could figure out, oh, by the way, you were up 20 at halftime, getting 13, and you still lost the game.
Yep. Typical
story of my life type of result. So Mike Jones on the show says 60%, Lubie, 60%, which is a number that any gambler would covet. I think
that's the number you want to be at. Yep.
If you're going to wager 110 to win 100 on a point spread in a basketball game, or any sport for that matter, football, whatever, if you hit it 60%, people would say you are going to be like this Mizrachi guy, the grinder, who ground out the victory in a World Series of Poker for $10 million. And isn't he a local guy? Doesn't he like live in Miramar?
He's a local guy. Yeah.
What's the story in this guy? Does he have money, or did he burn through everything? I don't know.
I have no idea. I just know Sarni was updating us on him, or Mayo, one of them was updating us on him being local. So, and his
I believe that's that he lives like in Miramar or something, or a family. Anyway, won the World Series of Poker, the main event, $10 million. Nice little piece of change there for playing cards. But anybody would say, if you want to make money, you have to hit at about a 60% rate to beat the juice, to beat the vig.
Yeah.
To beat the dagger that goes in your back, that is the advantage that the house has because you're laying 110 to win 100. All right. So 60% would be a nice percentage. There were 5 games yesterday. So you're thinking, okay, if I could hit 3 out of 5 of these, guess what, Lubie? If you're not parlaying all 5 games, you are a winner. You're going to come out the majority of 1 unit ahead, which would be a winning day. I mean, is it okay? Can you be satisfied with a winning day?
I mean, you never are. You people want to become billionaires off of one horse race, but I would.
Isn't that the most self-detrimental thing you could do? Is not have an established philosophy that you should be satisfied with any winning day.
Yeah, yes.
And your goal should be to have a winning day, not to say, well, you're a Chuck playing loser or whatever, and and meanwhile the guy lost all of his money.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead.
For long shots, horse racing and golf especially, like it's stupid. otherwise. But if you have a good feeling about a favorite and they then win, I'd rather that than losing all day.
Well, and this doesn't even constitute betting all favorites. This is just following the simple principle
Mhm.
that Mike Jones established, where he dug up this stat that 60%, Luby, 60% of WNBA home teams, favorite or not,
Okay.
cover the point spread.
Okay, so you just go home team in
You bet the home team, regardless of the points, whether they're laying points, getting points, whatever it is, whatever the number is, you don't even think about it. You immediately plunge on the home team and you will win 60% of the time, or at least you have been. Now, who knows if that will change? Maybe that's a trend that is just short term. We don't know. But and maybe that tracks all the way back to the origins of the league's beginnings and history. So, so anyway, going by that theory yesterday, you had 5 games on the slate. All right, first game you get crushed. You're taking the Chicago. Speaking of Angel Reese, Chicago, whatever they're called, are they the Wind? What is Chicago? Do you know the nickname of Chicago? Sky.
Dream.
They're the Chicago
The
Sky.
Sky.
Right?
Okay, the
Now,
Sky. And the Dream.
with the Sky, did they move from Montana? Why would Chicago be the Sky? Does anybody
I-
ever think about the Sky when they go to Chicago?
No, it's wind or
It's the Windy City, right?
Yeah.
Kind of stupid name is that?
Chicago Dogs. That's really all. Like and deep dish.
Chicago deep dishes.
Soldier Field. That's
Okay,
really.
reference there maybe might be considered disparaging by some to make women into a commodity there. All right, so they're getting 12 and a half. They get crushed like a grape. All right, and Mike actually texted me and said, "Well, there we're off to a good start there." Because
Yeah.
you don't want to look bad giving out a theory. And so we're on this show, we're internationally acclaimed, and we're getting 12 and a half with Chicago, and they lose 86-49. All right, so one big L right away, right out of the chute. But, Lubie, you then proceed to getting 10 and a half or giving 10 and a half with Minnesota, win that game by 13. You're laying 5.5 with Seattle at home, and they win convincingly by 9. You're laying 9.5 with the New York Liberty. I don't know. Did Caitlin Clark play in this game? Because she was
No, she didn't play. She has some groin injury. It said.
okay. That line, when the news was official, I don't know that it was at the time this line was printed, but you were laying 9.5. I can't imagine that her being out would have made it like a 20-point line, but you win by 21. So you're covering that one. And then you're getting 5.5 with Dallas at home against the vaunted Las Vegas. What are they? The Aces. The Aces. And
Yes.
and you cover that game because they only lose by 4. So you win 4 out of 5, Lubie. 80% win ratio. If you just followed the simple theory yesterday, and that would have made up for a dark Wednesday, a Black Wednesday, where you would have been lucky if they had a Major League Baseball schedule. How many people, show of hands out there, are consistently hitting 4 out of freaking 5 games?
Oh no, baseball.
So that was my indoctrination into WNBA wagering. Lubie. 4 out of 5. Based on the simple stat, the simple, I mean, this is not something that somebody made up, a number that he just grabbed out of the air, that 60% of WNBA home teams, and I'll have to check with Mike, I'm going to talk to him later today, whether it's just this year or that's consistently over the history of the league, over time, 60% cover regardless of the point spread. You don't even have to do any thinking, Lubie. This is a gift from the gods of gambling staring us right in the face, and we're looking at it and mocking it. It's great. I love WNBA basketball. I am a fan now, and I'm going to follow this theory, and no doubt form a reversal, and I'll be even more disparaging about the game and critical of the fact that this game does not represent what you're normally used to seeing, even recreationally. I mean, I don't know. What that's a good question, Libby. What's more compelling, NBA Summer League basketball or WNBA regular season?
Look, we talked about it yesterday. It should be WNBA regular season. For someone like me, it's NBA Summer League.
You sexist, misogynist.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is because I've watched women's sports my whole life. I've never degraded them or thought anything bad about it. And I've watched women's basketball.
Yeah.
In times of my life, so it's not like I'm against women playing sports. I'm all for it. I just over the years, as much as it's gotten better, and I know people say it's gotten better, and that's fine. When I watched the two versions of the game, it makes it harder to watch that version of the game for me. That's just personally. I'm not judging. I know suppose it's got more popular. You see the NBA players at the games and they're supporting their counterpart.
I'm all for people being enthusiastic about it, especially now. Yeah.
I think it's great. I just personally, it's
4 out of 5, Lubie.
Yeah, that's great. Oh no, look, we've said it. The Greeks talked about how he used to bet on what elevator would hit the ground first when he was in the biggest hotel. Like, people will bet on whatever, and I don't judge them for it. Look, we had the guy. We were doing nights. We had our guy, and he was, I think, a Boston guy that would call us about WNBA games. Then was like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Like, and we would make fun of him, but he loved Black Wednesday. That was like his Super Bowl.
This is remarkable. I mean, what a great discovery. All right, now on a gambling front too, and this gets into the Mendoza line for men, which is at what age do you no longer wake up? And I mean, you used to love waking up. I don't know, is there a delicate way to say this? It was always great if you woke up and had an erection, right?
Hard on, yes, or woody or morning wood,
whatever it is. Okay, and we're not trying to get into dark sexual material here.
We're not trying to. We're going to go there anyways.
But it had been a while for me. I would have to say, at 74. I mean, I more or less have to do some serious meditation to induce that to happen. Visualization, a lot of stuff, thinking back into the past incidents, whatever. But this morning it happened.
Good for you.
It's Jim Lampley. It happened. And the reason why was I routinely wake up a few times during the night thinking that it's already like 6:30.
Yeah.
That happens to you, Lubie, where you pop up.
Radio. It was the radio days. Radio days.
Because we used to have to get up. I used to have to get up at like 4:30.
4 in the morning, yep.
What the hell were we thinking, man? Remember I started out there and you and I, we were doing 10 to 12. Wasn't that beautiful?
Yes, that was wonderful.
And they started messing with us.
They did.
Now, are you going to have a larger following if you're on 6 to 10 in the morning? Yes. I mean, but that was, a circuitous route. Yes, as you mentioned, they threw us into a 7 to 10 at night spot.
Yes.
Where I don't know that there's an AM signal that you can hear in Broward County at night.
Especially when it's dark early.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We would lose like all of our audience. It was great.
Yeah. This time of year, it actually gets dark between 8:30 and 9. So we would have a nice following till like 9 o'clock. And then when it would switch, it would be driving in and be like, oh, that's not good.
Static City. I mean, that's what was coming out. I always think, and this stuck with me. One of the few things a consultant ever said that stuck with me. And those, long-winded, boring meetings where everybody's falling asleep. Remember, they would have like, they didn't really do this so much with consultants when we were at iHeart because I guess they couldn't afford them anymore. They were 30 billion in debt. But one guy said to me a long time ago when I first got going in this thing, you have to kind of try and envision or at least hear what is coming out of the speakers when you're performing. I mean, how does this sound to the people? Not just get infatuated with what it is that you're saying, but what does this sound like to the people that are listening to the radio? And all that you could possibly envision after like 8:30 at night was static, was coming out of the speakers.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, literally.
Yes.
I don't do static well, but I mean, and that was it because I drive around sometimes trying to catch those hockey games when the Panthers were playing, and I didn't sit home and watch all of it. I was out doing my usual stuff, trying to find some good live music, and I'd be driving home at like 10 o'clock at night when the game was in the third period. You want to hear what's going on, and even QAM, was carrying the games. Even 560, which is a pretty good position on the dial to not be impacted by this.
Yep.
Still, it was Scratch City, my friends. Scratch City. But anyway, so this morning, and I believe I gave this out on this show also. My pick was Nikolai Hogard to win the British Open, at 250 to 1.
Oh, nice. Okay, wow.
We're looking beyond the chalk here. Okay, so now this guy, I was surprised to see that fat of a price on him because he's sort of there or thereabouts. And I believe he was even there or thereabouts in the Scottish Open, which just preceded this tournament on a links course. And you're thinking, all right, 250 to 1. I mean, how do you not throw at least like $10 on this guy? And then it broke down into other categories. You were getting a pretty good price on him to be top 5. I think I wrote it down here somewhere. Top 5. He was like 30-1. And top 10, he was still like a big price. Okay, so if you bet him to be in the top 5, 30-1. If you bet him to be in the top 10, 13-1. Top 20, 5-1. And top 40, you were getting 2-1 on Nikolai Norgard. Is it Norgard or Hogard? It's Hogard, I believe. Hogard. Okay. All right. So I don't even know who the guy is, but nonetheless, he had caught my eye, and the plus 250 was unbelievable. I guess it's plus 2,500 because they're basing that, or it'd be 25,000, right? Because they're basing that on $100 bet.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now, nobody's going to plunge 100 on this guy. But for $10 to win 2,500 was worth a shot. So I wake up this morning, Lubie, and whoop, 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 like an erector set. What's the first thing I see? The coverage came on at 4 a.m. I just popped my eyes open about 10 minutes before that. So I waited to see, okay, let me check out the beginning, what kind of conditions this tournament's being played under. Raining, of course, the usual stuff. Everybody, they really do. It looks exactly like the opening scene of Great Expectations. If you read the Dickens novel, where it's just, you can hear foghorns in the background. Whoa. Everybody's pasty that's watching the tournament. They're wearing funny hats.
Oh, yeah.
They got various forms of rain gear on, which it seems like they're unaccustomed to it raining there, even though it rains all the time. I guess they're wearing some really funky stuff. The rough is, balls are disappearing. Lee Westwood had one that literally disappeared, and they actually started whacking the rough with a machete trying to find his ball. It was one of those things where you take the club and you're just like swinging away and trying to get rid of whatever foliage is around your ball to see if you can find it because you're down to your last one.
Yep.
Very much hacker type of stuff. And who's leading the tournament at 2 under through 9 holes?
Oh, shut up! Really?
My man,
But
Nikolai Hogard.
Yeah, but that's is okay. Let me ask
He's
you.
not leading anymore, but it's not like he came in. He was the leader in the clubhouse. Actually, he was the first guy to post
He has a nice score.
Yeah, 2 under par and not out of it. I think the leaders were what? Was a guy
4
5
under? No, he's only 2 back. I mean, from a guy that you pulled out of your arse and got a great odds, insane odds. It's just weird because the first day.
Well, he could finish. He might miss the cut.
What scares me is the first day. A lot of time, as we've seen with these tournaments, you'll get the randoms, and then more times than not, the bigger name like Scheffler's looming, Fitzpatrick's looming. There's like some of these guys are already looming. It's like
there's a long way to go.
You don't want them to quote unquote, as we're being sort of graphic this morning, shoot their load in the Thursday Open.
The likelihood of this guy winning probably is in excess of 250-1. In spite of the fact that he posted a decent number in the first round as in contention. I think that only put him in a tie for 15th or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like around.
A lot of guys are in that same area. Even Phil was like 1 under, I believe, or somewhere in contention. But nonetheless, I mean, imagine waking up to that, Lubie, where the very first thing in the Open was through 9 holes. My guy at 250-1 is leading the tournament.
Yeah, look, as we've said, it's not about leading at this point. It's just about hanging around, especially the Open. With like you're saying, like we're watching them do some shots. What was it, Wednesday? And they were hitting grounders, and people were clapping. That was a great shot.
Literally, like you're looking for Ellie De La Cruz to cut this thing off and then do the Jeter play.
Exactly.
Where he flies in the air as he's going to his right and throws the ball while in mid leap, and he gets the guy at first base. I mean, these were 2 hoppers to short. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
So that's the thing is like you it's really just being about getting through the cut and being around Saturday. So it's good that he had a good start. That's better than not having a good start. That's the scariest thing with these tournaments. It's just there's only so much you can get excited, like with the random dude jumping out to the lead, as we've seen in these last few tournaments.
The comments here on the chat line are largely inappropriate, but still funny. Sarni wants to know if Trump wakes up with a piece of wood. Maybe a dowel rod. I don't know. And then you say he barely wakes up at all.
I
Uh,
was waiting to wake up
sure he
to
feels for it. Does everybody just feel for it? And he says as he was driving to work in the morning, it was good, but when he got out west, he started hearing the Mexican national anthem and
it was like a
Salvador Sanchez fight being broadcast. All right, we're gonna bail out here, but anyway, so that was a good morning all the way around. 4 out of 5 on the WNBA,
Yeah.
and my man Hogard, who I mean, talk about a nondescript European schmenk. What was at 2 under and atop the leaderboard, and he had already played 9 holes. Then beyond that, look, anything can happen because you can get completely screwed by one shot.
Oh yeah.
Where I mean,
So
that one Westwood somehow only made, I think, a double bogey on that hole, which was amazing. But I mean, he was in some thatch that nobody could hack their way out of. It was if they found his ball. I don't know. I didn't see. I kind of had to get rolling, and I didn't see what the result was of that particular shot, whether he got a drop or what. But I mean, there was no way he was hitting anything out of the mess, the snarling mess of rough that is typical of these kind of courses there, the links courses. And man, the fairways are about as narrow as they could get, Louis. Did you see any of the layout on this thing? They don't need trees or anything to screw you because you're in the rough almost as a matter of routine, and yet they're shooting pretty good scores. So and in the rain on top of that. So that'll be fun to follow. All right, we're going to do the trivia challenge. Gurgles, is he in? Is he with us? Dave Gurgles? Oh, beautiful. Look at that. I've been waiting in the wings for a while there, Gergs, because I was waiting for word here. I saw that you were involved in the show, and we were kind of waiting for you to pop up. You look great, kid. How are you?
We're getting there. We're getting there. We got a big meeting today for the 21st annual St. Jude's tournament, which we got coming up. That'll probably be the opening of the golf course. I think we've got it slated for the 28th of October. Course is coming along terrific. I had my 1 month meeting with the doc after following my surgery.
Oh, good.
And I told him the only thing I had is when I wake up every day to get out of bed or my first few steps out of a chair, my right knee kills me, even though I had the hip done.
Oh,
and they said that's normal because when they do the hip, they do to get it done right. They twist all this other stuff. And she said that's 100%. So, because the last thing I want is the knee done. I want this hip to get well. I got Saratoga coming less than a month, August 14th.
Oh, nice. Okay. Your hair is starting to take on a little bit of a Jimmy Johnson look.
Yeah, I need a haircut, but
no, it looks great.
That's good. It looks good.
Believe me, anybody with hair, we're very envious of.
By the way, a great degenerate story. Remember that horse that I gave out last week that won?
Yeah, that won, sure.
Yeah, well, anyway, he was the second leg of a pick 4 for me.
Oh, good.
The first leg paid $37.
Ooh.
Then I get Johnny V on I think an 8 or a 10 to 1 shot. Now I'm alive in a 6-horse field with 3 horses. Jose Ortiz, somebody else, and Irad is 6 to 5. I don't have them.
No.
And I'm sitting there going, oh no, And I said, listen, don't let the guy get hurt, but it'd be great if he fell off his horse. Out of the gate, boom, he falls off the horse.
Oh no.
Jose Ortiz looks back at his brother and goes on to win at 4 to 1, and I get like 6 1/4. So
nice.
One of those nice times.
No, you're very good at that, Dave Gurgles. And Saratoga is your thing. I would imagine you sit there and make nothing but scores.
I'll look forward to it. And degenerates want to know, you probably already covered this. So the All-Star game, which I thoroughly enjoyed, you bet either team to win. Did you actually win money, or did they call it a draw?
No, I believe they gave the win officially to the National League.
To the National League, okay. Yeah. And then what about if you paid some money on the number of home runs hit? Does it count that playoff?
That I would think not.
Yeah, I would think not either. I was in bed, and I heard they were going to this playoff. I never heard that. I got out of bed, went out to the living room.
First I heard of it, yeah.
It was terrific.
Yeah, no, that was great. And your guy from the Phillies, Schwarber, of course.
Yeah, former Cub, yep.
How much fun was that to watch this guy hit 3 pitches in a row right out of the park? And there was a lot of controversy about not using the big stars, but half of them were gone, which is apparently it's no denigration to the players' dedication to the fact they're in the All-Star game. If you're starting in the game and you're lifted in the 6th inning, they go straight to the showers and get busy enjoying their All-Star break. Cal Raleigh was still around, but you had to pre-designate who was going to be among your 3 and then name a substitute. And actually Stowers, people were probably surprised to see
good for him.
Marlin guy in there, but Yeah, he was named as the alternate, and then I believe the guy's name was Suarez, was injured in the game,
Right.
got hit in the hand, and he was originally supposed to be one of the three. So all the people that want to make a big deal out of that, which we were kind of surprised. I mean,
Yeah.
and it made sense, right? If you were lifted in the fifth inning of the game and you were Shohei Ohtani, do you really want to come back out after you cooled down and everything? You're not in the groove anymore.
It was a great ending. I applaud the baseball for doing something right for a change.
Yeah, I mean, most people love it. And I'd have to say, I don't see how you could really have any big difference with what they did, because who wants to see them play it out like they did and run out of players
Right.
when they went 12, 13 innings in a couple of the
And
games.
good luck with your choice in the British Open. I'm going to go a little chalky. I'm leaning towards John Rahm.
He was playing very well. I saw him early on, so got a long way to go in his round. But yeah, he was having some success. All right, we're going to come back with the trivia challenge here in just a moment. You can dial us up 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. That was on my Medicare Cognizant test that I had the other day. They said, of the zillion phone numbers you've given out in your lifetime on the air, can you remember the one this time for the trivia challenge, which you do every week? And it's 954-417-0070. I nailed that, and I got a free pass, and they kept my Medicare intact. All right, back with Dave Gurgles Gurgley and the trivia challenge in a moment. Now that. It's 8:39. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici, just switch the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
All right, we jinxed John Rahm. He bogeys 2 holes. Reporting by Jim Simon. And Scheffler's 2 under through, I think he's on 11 right now. So lurking there in the background is the chalk. All right, I want to get into the trivia challenge, 954-417-0070. If you want to join us for the game, we have the Landlubbers gift certificate and also possibly a Texas Roadhouse gift certificate that Lubie is in charge of the dissemination of these prizes. So if you don't get it, call Lubie at that same number. He's unlikely to answer any other time than during the show. All right, so here we go. Without further delay, we will get into it. You heard from the Polyman, the dulcet tones of the great Polyman, Paul Massell. And in his honor, we start the game in the traditional fashion of Dave and some
easy baseball. This former Yankee pitcher, on his ability at the plate, said, "I was the worst hitter ever. I never even broke a bat until last year when I was backing out of the garage. Was that Lefty Gomez, Pedro Gomez, Gomez Adams, or Alvin Adams?
Rolling a scrambler is one Mike Lubie Lubitz. And lands on Ron. Ron, you're our first player. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
Correctamundo, off to a
Well
great
done,
start.
Ron.
One going for two.
All right, sports, Ron. I don't know if you watched the ESPYs last night. The host, Sean Gillis, a little bit controversy. Anyway, he actually was an athlete growing up in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and was recruited as an offensive tackle out of high school by Army, the University of Army.
I thought you were going to go,
True or false?
It is true or false. Here we go.
Let's go true.
That is true.
True. Wow.
Yeah. Went to Army, then he transferred out of there and went somewhere else. But yeah, he was recruited. Excellent.
I have to say, this is nothing disparaging for the people who enjoy this, but I'm happy I didn't know the ESPYs were on last
I
night.
didn't realize they were on.
And I missed it in its entirety. So
Yeah, I didn't realize.
He had a couple of good lines. He said Shohei Ohtani can't be here because he's having lunch with his bookie. And then he used that term. He says, "Oh, by the way, bookie. That's what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend at nighttime." I thought that was pretty good.
sorry, I missed it. No, that was good stuff. All right, 2 for 2, going for 5.
All right, let's take you back a little bit in football. Remember the year Jameis Winston became the first quarterback to throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same year. What player before that came the closest to 30 touchdown interceptions? What quarterback? Archie Manning, John Hadle, Brett Favre, or Lynn Dickey?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. Let's go Lynn Dickey.
I'm going to say
Well done.
Right. I was gonna say-
32 and 29. Well done from the Packers.
Wow, good job, Ron.
Speaking of which, Lubie, are you paying any attention to the rumors that Nick Saban could be replacing his man Mike Norvell at FSU? What are your thoughts on that? And,
I literally bring up to Ken. I'm like, because I didn't bring up that part. Whatever. I just brought up the idea that he may be wanting to come back to coaching already.
Yeah.
And Ken was, he was talking about something else, and I just started just the idea to me of like, I'm like, so if you're Florida State, do you fire Norvell now? Like, do you just fire him in the
right. Good idea, man. Call him into the office. It's happened to us in the radio. Call you in. You think you just had a great show, and they say, "Hey, that was a great show. Your last show was a great show." And by the way, it was your last show. All right, 5 going for 10 here, and a sweep to start us out, Ron.
Baseball, Ron. Which two hitters had an extra base hit in 14 consecutive games? And I'll give you one of them. It's Chipper Jones and who?
Ooh.
Ty Cobb, Paul Wainer, Craig Biggio, or Jim Rice?
Good question.
Let's go Biggio.
Biggio.
It was Big and Little Poison. Paul Wainer. You have to go all the way back.
That's a great start, though, Mr. Ron.
Funny,
Hang
huh?
on,
Good to see
friend.
which way it was going. All right, 5 points setting a pace here. It's going to be a quick edition here of the Trivia Challenge because we were schlubbering about the WNBA and our triumph rate. WNBA home teams at 60%. They're hitting gurgles. If you knew that there was a way that you were going to cash 60% of your sports wagers, which is enough to put you into profit mode, wouldn't you just subscribe to that and do it, or is that too easy?
What, the WNBA?
WNBA, 60% of the home teams cover the point spread regardless of.
No kidding. I don't think I'd even bet it if I knew I could win.
Isn't that funny?
That's what I was saying.
You would much rather torture yourself getting beat
Well, yeah.
last second field goal that is meaningless, that you get from the Lions as they were trailing by 4 and somehow miscovering the spread. All right, 954-417-0070 on the phone lines. Ron's setting a pace with 5 points. 954-417-0070 if you'd like to join us here on the show. We'll try and work in as many as we can, so we'll go rapid fire. And we go right back to Dave Gurgles Gurgley for the next set of questions.
Hockey. And this goes to the guy that's got the greatest legs going because of the foot meter he plays with. Okay. This Flyers head coach, on an emotional speech to his players, recounted, "Look, guys, when you have breakfast, when you have bacon and eggs for breakfast, the chicken makes a contribution, but the pig makes a commitment." Fred Chero, Fred Astaire, Fred Freeman, or Fred McMurray?
Interesting extrapolation there. And it lands on Pat, the random phone scrambler.
The
Pat,
leg man.
you're next. Pat, how are those feet feeling?
Okay, guys. Feels good.
They're feeling good. Yeah, I mean, I picture Pat. I'm envious of Pat because he would have no lower body circulation problems after getting one of those. What was that thing called, Pat? It was like a Popeil type of invention.
Exercise. Did you say the exercise?
Exercise.
Exercise.
Where you sit there as if you were playing a hi-hat and bass drums all day long, which I've often done just on my own, imagining that I was Ginger Baker.
It's in the club thing. The idea of the exercise still sounds better than the urinator or whatever.
That was yeah, the Euro Club.
That sounds.
Remember that, Garth?
Yeah.
Did I get you one of those? Probably
That
not.
was a pisser. Yeah.
Kept all the keys for myself. Yeah, the Euro Club.
Oh,
Brilliant invention. It was actually
He was on Shark Tank.
Yeah, he was on Shark Tank, the guy, and somebody bought into it. Can you imagine that?
Oh my God.
You pee into a tube instead of going into the woods. Well, you can't go into the woods at the open, see, so it would come in handy there.
There you
No
go.
trees. All right, you have one going for two here, Pat.
All right, Pat, horse racing. Last Thursday was opening day at Saratoga. The traditional opening day stakes race is the Jim Dandy, named for one of the founders and casino owners in 1870. True or false?
True.
No.
No.
The De La Rosa Stakes is the traditional opener.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
So what was the story on Jim Dandy? Was he a casino operator?
He was,
Okay.
but it wasn't the opening day stakes race.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a tough call there. All right. One going for four.
All right, Pat. Which of the following pitchers had a season in which he won 27 games with 317 strikeouts and a 1.73 ERA in his last season in baseball?
Wow.
Bob Gibson, Steve Carlton, Sandy Koufax, or Walter Johnson?
Jesus.
Carlton.
What'd you say?
You said Carlton?
It sounds like it.
Carlton. I think you said Carlton, yeah.
No, it was the ageless one still around, Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, that's was either had to be him or Walter Johnson. You were
Right.
Yeah, it was one of those two.
right. You are now in a position to take the lead.
Take the lead.
With 6 points, you get this one right.
They may have mentioned this on the broadcast. I'm not sure. Golf. Who's the only player to win the Scottish Open and the British Open in the same season?
Good question.
Is that Gary Player, Tom Lehman, Phil Mickelson, or young Tom Morris?
Mickelson.
Mickelson.
You knew
Yes.
that one, 2013. 2013. Well done.
Bill, that was,
Now you're gonna be in the
playing
final.
representative round. Good job. Nailed that one. So we have Pat with 6, Ron with 5. We'll try and get another one in here. You can dial us up 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070 while we await the arrival and selection of our next player. Perdomo Cigars, Gurgles.
Yeah.
Got boxes set aside for your trip to Toga.
I will make sure to see them. I'll be there at the end of the month to go see Nick and the gang, and you don't have to wait till then if you want to go. 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto on the south side, a little bit east of the Home Depot, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bruce is the concierge, knows all about Perdomo Cigars. He can help you, but Nick's always there. Nick Jr., it's a 4th generation of making Cuban seed tobacco cigars perfect one at a time. My specialty, I like the Lot 23, a little bit milder. Some other people like the 20th anniversary with a Maduro wrapper. They make them perfect. You got one for every taste. If you're new to it, you can buy a little variety pack and see which one you like the best. But right around the corner, well, you don't need a holiday to have a Perdomo cigar. I'll have some I'll take some with me to Saratoga, and I had some on the golf course, and we sell them right here, Miami Lakes Golf Club, when we reopen, I think November 1st to the general public. So today, when John Rahm gets back to under par, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right, ready for our final contestant here. Then we're going to go to the championship round. So let's line up our next set of questions with Dave.
Okay, boxing. This fighter, during a bout with an opponent at the start of the 7th round of a match with Jack Thompson, he extended his glove, which was the usual ritual done before the final round of a boxing match, to which a puzzled Thompson said, "This ain't the last round, Sam." To which he replied, "It is for you."
That's a great move.
What's that? Sam Langford, Sam Cunningham, Sam Jones, or Uncle Sam?
Good question here. And roll the scrambler and lands on. Oh, great. Andy, man. Andy, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'll go with A.
A
All
is
right,
good.
Andy.
Nice job.
All right, baseball.
All right. And do you guys pay for third? Do you pay for third?
Yeah, you get a.
Yeah.
a participation certificate.
Give you a water. tonight.
Everybody gets a trophy. Yeah.
All right, Andy, true or false? Unlike this year's All-Star game that we're lacking a lot of excitement during 2023, the focus by the camera engaged in a playful game of rock, paper, scissors between Vladimir Guerrero and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in their respective dugouts. True or false?
2023. I'll go true.
That is true.
True. Wow.
Yep.
Nice job there. Yeah, there wasn't much going on. This was a little bit of a revival. They infused some new enthusiasm into the All-Star game with this one.
Yep.
As you had the 6-0 rally by the American League coming back, and then the home run swing off. That was great. All right, you have two going for 5 here, Andy.
All right, Andy.
All right.
Golf. 2 players share the lowest total score in British Open history at 20 under. One of them is Cameron Smith. The other one is Phil Mickelson, Darren Clark, Tom Lehman, or Henrik Stenson.
Oh, the big Swede.
Stetson.
He goes big Swede, and it's right.
2016, he did it.
I was not tipping that. I had no idea, but good job.
I was wrong.
He never won anything when I used him in any of those pools. What a stiff. I can't stand the guy. The sight of him, I start to puke. Okay, you're going for the sweep here, Andy. This would be remarkable. You're currently timed.
Sweet, baby.
All right, baseball, Andy, good luck. This Major League team was the first American League team to hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning. What's that? The Tigers, the Orioles, the Twins, or the Red Sox?
For some reason, I think it's the Twins.
Twins.
For some reason, you just swept the board.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that, man.
Making Lubie's life infinitely easier because you're already on the line for the finals here as we go to the championship round. And once again, Dave Gurgles Gurgley spilled the beans for us about Perdomo Cigars, an affiliation you've had since the inception of the show. And I can still envision when I met Nick Perdomo. I was sitting in the front row of a red-eye flight from Las Vegas. He was at a cigar convention when he was just getting going. And, of course, he had done some radio advertising, so I was familiar with the brand. I recognized him, and we spoke briefly. And then I sat down, and I was in the middle seat between 2 sumo wrestlers, literally for the ride home. The rest of the 5-hour flight or whatever that was. But couldn't have been any more of a delightful guy, and couldn't be any happier for his success. Perdomo Cigars are great.
Yeah, he used to have a humidor in the old All-Star Cafe, which was Sheila's sports bar where I worked. I approached him one day, talked to him about his product. Next thing you know, we've had a relationship of probably 26 years now, maybe 27 every month. And I'm proud to represent him. Every golf tournament I go to, I've got my sign with the Hialeah Trivia Challenge, Perdomo Cigars, and everything. And people say, Perdomo, I like them cigars. And you will too. If you haven't tried one, go to 5150 Northwest 167th Street, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So the weekend you say, geez, I forgot to get the Perdomo. That's no problem. Go online, www.perdomocigars.com, to find a retailer near you that sells these great smokes. So today, as you enjoy the British Open, or when you get to maybe Saratoga for the weekend, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
I remember, too, years ago when I was in Puerto Rico on a little vacation, I stopped in one of their cigar shops, which they had many, and they featured all kinds of stuff. And, the highest of high-end cigars were on display there. And right there in the middle of them all is Perdomo Cigars, which were...
Absolutely.
I asked the salesperson there how these guys are, viewing having Perdomos available to them. And he said, among our best sellers. And that was, as I said, years ago, when I was in Puerto Rico. All right, the finals are going to feature Andy and Pat. They were 2 high scorers. Guys, you both know how this works, but we're obligated by FCC regulations to go ahead and give you the rules. Dave's going to fire off a question, call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody answers right away. We'll offer multiple choice. The first person to call out his name gets first choice. We go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until we have a winner. And so for the championship of today's edition of the Trivia Challenge, here's Dave Gurgles Gurgley.
All right, golf. Where did the winner of the Scottish Open, New Jersey born, college, where did he attend college?
Okay. Anybody? Here's multiple choice.
Rider, Rutgers, Wake Forest or Fairleigh Dickinson.
This is Got Her Up.
Yep.
His name. Which we were talking about earlier this morning. Who stepped in there? Andy. Andy.
I'll say Fairleigh Dickinson.
Fairleigh Dickinson. Incorrect. Good educated guess, though.
Ryder, Rutgers, or Wake Forest?
Pat.
Rutgers. There's only one answer.
He transferred later to Oklahoma, but he started.
And he got cute there. Yeah, Jersey.
Ryder was my alma mater, and Fairleigh Dickinson we used to call fairly ridiculous. I remember.
And excellent. Pat snares the victory here, snatches victory from the jaws of defeat as Andy swept the board, but failed to make it.
Hey, Mike, I think instead of the certificate, you could probably send him batteries for that leg thing. Probably had 'em, but...
Yeah. That was battery operated. I think it just operated somehow strangely on its own. All right, Dave, any Gurgles appearance? Oh, I know you're still working on the hip. So
Yep. I've got St. Jude's. I've been toying the idea of taking a Uber and going to Gulfstream, but we'll see.
All right.
St. Jude's, all the best, gentlemen. Mike, good luck. When's the baby due?
November 17th or 13th.
Beautiful.
It's moved.
After the Breeders' Cup, so you're okay.
Yes,
right.
yes. Exactly.
Are you also going to refer to Luca Lubitz as Luca Panici Lubitz?
No.
When you see this kid?
I'm already.
You're not going to name him Luca Lubitz, are you?
Yeah, his name's Luca.
Lubitz.
It's not going to do with Panici. It's not because of Panici.
No, but they were going to name me Gregory Gurgley. I would have been beaten up as a kid for Christ.
I like the Luca.
All right, David. Good job as always. And once again, Perdomo Cigars represented very. I mean, just you can't say enough good things about somebody like that. It starts from rolling cigars in the trunk of his car and then becomes one of the biggest cigar makers and manufacturers, most respected in the world. All right, Lubie, a lot of fun today. WNBA, my new passion.
Yes.
I'll be watching. I don't know if I started handicapping, I would ruin. This is just straight. Like, remember you used to play Caribbean stud poker and not look at your two cards? And just go all in. I mean, that was the theory. Just go all in on every hand, or go. If you're anteing, go ahead and play, regardless of what you might have. And then every now and then, it was embarrassing because you would have two cards underneath that nobody in their right mind would play. People play what? Blackjack on the blind also, and people do that. Did they play Texas Hold'em on the blind? No, nobody would do that, would they? Texas Hold'em, would you not look at your cards? Don't you have to do that thing where you're like,
yeah.
But this you can play on the blind. Just bet every home team, WNBA, you want to win at 60%. If you can grind it out like Mizraki, think about that. Nothing wrong with winning $10 million as a grinder. If you can grind it out, I'm all in. And then let's go with this guy, Hogard, who I think he's still going to be very much in contention after the first round. If he could do it again, he had a double bogey on 11. That ruined him. Otherwise, you're looking at a guy that's possibly 4 under, although that's Tom Olivedani type of logic, isn't it? Well, if you took away the 98-yard run,
yes,
we only gave up 60 yards rushing in the game. That's pretty good. Yeah, but the 98-yard run was a winning score, Tom. Maybe you should take that into consideration. All right, thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. The professor will join us. We'll have a big board. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. We thank Dave Gurgles as always. We will see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
Thank you, Johnny. It's 9:01.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my